kind of assume a mantle, because if you were the problem with taking away the GM title, as they've done in Atlanta, as they've done with the Clippers, as they've done in every other place, is that you have to hire someone who will work and get along with Tibbs well, and will form a good partnership there. And I think if you bring in someone, if you want to bring in the best possible candidate to be a new president of basketball operations, you have to say you can hire whatever coach you want. And the chances of that person being totally fine with Tibbs is probably pretty low. So that's, again, why right now it appears that things are keeping towards the status quo with that setup with Tibbs as the president and Scott Layden with the GM. Again, though, if you keep this situation going this way, Scott Layden's got to step up and start doing some more.
Mm-hmm. Two more quick questions. Can the Wolves afford to pay Towns and Butler while keeping Wiggins, and is Taylor willing to pay the luxury tax?
It's going to be difficult. It can be done if Taylor's willing to pay the luxury tax. I think Taylor would be willing to pay the luxury tax if he thinks they are on a path to real contention in the Western Conference. Right now, this 3-person core has not proven it's ready for that yet. So I think they would have to take an enormous step forward next year to give Taylor the thought of, okay, this team really is good enough to really challenge Golden State and Houston in the West. So yes, I'll dip into that heavily punitive tax. That's why I wrote at The Athletic last week that, if one of the 3 players is going to be traded, Wiggins would make sense to try and move just to get that salary off the books. Maybe you bring a couple of different pieces back that give you a little more balance with the roster. See if that's achievable. It's going to be a really hard thing to do, but I think there is a chance in the next 2 years that this 3-person core is not the 3-person core that the Wolves have going forward for the next 4 to 5 years.
One last question from Michael, and then we'll wrap up. Thanks to everybody who listens. Thoughts on signing and starting guys like Ariza or PJ Tucker and bringing Wiggins off the bench like Eric Gordon?
I don't think Wiggins will come off the bench. Nope. I do think a guy like Ariza or Tucker would be great here. They're also going to command a lot of money, of which the Wolves do not have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Also, I do know that PJ Tucker last year chose to go to Houston because over the Wolves and other suitors, because he thought that they had a better chance to win. So that's what they're going to fight in this free agency, is when you're asking players to take less money, you have to offer a clear path toward big-time competition and contention. And I don't know that the Wolves can do that right now, which is why I think players like Tucker or Ariza are slimmer chances to land that caliber of player going into the summer. Not impossible. They can do some sell jobs and twist some arms and convince some people, but they have their work cut out for them if they're going to do that.